Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So today we continue reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 11, text 52. Is that correct? Do it again? Okay. The universal form. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sudurdarsham idang rupam Distavang asiyang mama Deva api asya rupasya Nityang darshana kankshina Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sudurdarsham idang rupam Dristavan asiyang mama Deva api asyarupasya Nityang darshana kankshina Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sudurdarsham idang rupam Dristavan asiyang mama Deva api asya rupasya Nityang darshana kankshina Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sudurdarsham idang rupam Dristavang asiyang mama Deva api asya rupasya Nityam darshana karshana Sudurdarsham idang rupam Dristavang asiyang mama Deva aspi asya rupasya Nityam darshana kamshina Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Deva api asya rupasya Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sudurdarsham rupam Distavan api asya mama Deva api asya rupasya Nityam darshana kankshina Word for word meaning. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said.
Sudur Darsham. Very difficult to see.
Very difficult to see.
Idam. This. Rupam. Form. Drishtavan Asi. As you have seen. Yat. Which. Mama. Of mine. Deva. The demigods. Api. Also. Asya. This. Rup Asya. Form. Nityam. Eternally. Darshana Kankshina. Aspiring to see. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. Purport. In the 48th verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna concluded revealing his universal form and informed Arjuna that this form is not possible to be seen by so many pious activities, sacrifices, etc. Now here the words Sudur Darsham is used, indicating that Krishna's two-handed form is still more confidential. One may be able to see the universal form of Krishna by adding a little tinge of devotional service to various activities like penances, Vedic study, and philosophical speculation. It may be possible, but without a tinge of bhakti, one cannot see. That has already been explained. Still beyond the universal form, the form of Krishna with two hands is still more difficult to see, even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him, and we have evidence in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother Devaki, all the demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna, and they offered nice prayers to the Lord, although he was not at that time visible to them. They waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person, and may offer respect not to him but to the impersonal something within him. But these are all nonsensical postures. Krishna in his two-armed form is actually desired to be seen by demigods like Brahma and Shiva. In Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 9, text 11, it is also confirmed, Abhajananti mam mudha manusim tanum ashritam. He is not visible to the foolish persons who deride him. Krishna's body, as confirmed by Brahma Samhita and confirmed by Krishna himself in Bhagavad-Gita, is completely spiritual and full of bliss and eternality. His body is never like a material body. But for some who makes a study of Krishna by reading Bhagavad-Gita or similar Vedic scriptures, Krishna is a problem. For one using a material process, Krishna is considered to be a great historical personality and very learned philosopher, but he is an ordinary man. And even though he was so powerful, he had to accept a material body. Ultimately, they think that the absolute truth is impersonal. Therefore, they think that from his impersonal feature, he assumed a personal feature attached to material nature. That this is a materialistic calculation of the Supreme Lord. Another calculation is speculative. Those who are in search of knowledge also speculate on Krishna and consider him to be less important than the universal form of the Supreme. Thus, some think that the universal form of Krishna, which was manifested to Arjuna, is more important than his personal form. According to them, the personal form of the Supreme is something imaginary. They believe that in the ultimate issue, the absolute truth is not a person, but the transcendental process is described in Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 4, to hear about Krishna from authorities. That is the actual Vedic process. And those who are actually in the Vedic line hear about Krishna from authority. And by repeated hearing about him, Krishna becomes dear. As we have several times discussed, Krishna is covered by his Yogamaya potency. He is not to be seen or revealed to anyone and everyone. Only by one to whom he reveals himself can he be seen. This is confirmed in the Vedic literature. For one who is a surrendered soul, the absolute truth can actually be understood. The transcendentalist, by continuous Krishna consciousness and by devotional service to Krishna, can have his spiritual eyes opened and can see Krishna by revelation. Such a revelation is not possible even for the demigods. Therefore, it is difficult even for the demigods to understand Krishna. And the advanced demigods are always in hope of seeing Krishna in his two-handed form. The conclusion is that although to see the universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult and not possible for anyone and everyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyama Sundar. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport, chapter 11, text 52 of the Bhagavad-Gita as it is, the universal form. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyanan Gyana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang Shri Gurung Vaisnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneswari Vishavanusute Deve Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kipashinduvya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sududarsang idang rupang Dristavang asiyang mama Deva api asya rupasya Nityang darshana kangshina. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear." So finally, Lord Krishna revealed again His original two-armed form. This is the original form of Lord Krishna, Tribhanga and Shyamasundar, two-armed form. All the different forms of the Supreme Lord are innumerable, transcendental, full of knowledge and bliss, eternity, eternal. But this two-armed form of the Supreme Lord is the one that the devotees are seeking and meditating upon. Not until one becomes free from all the dirty things within their hearts, then they can have darshan of this Lord. Dirty things. Prabhupada says these dirty things means if one has material desires for speculation, like the Gyanis, or fruitive desires, like the materialist or the karmis, or even the yogis who want some mystic yoga or yogic powers, perfection in their yogic postures or activities. So Prabhupada says that these are all what you call dirty things. One has to have akama. Akama means no more. Material desires. Even desire for liberation. So the demigods, they're not all in that kind of level where compared to a devotee that they have free from all of the material desires. Some of these demigods, they still have desires to keep their position. So that is also material desires. Keep on doing that. So this form of the Lord is Sudurdarsam. It's very confidential. Not everyone can have darshan of this. Sudurdarsam. That even those who had witnessed the Supreme Lord when He was here 5,000 years ago, they're not able to understand the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. It's like the inhabitants of Vrindavan, the Brajabasis. They consider Him as an ordinary man, like them. Even though these Brajabasis are eternal associates of the Supreme Lord, they are expansions from the original form of the Supreme Lord. Their body also are full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity, the Brajabasis. Even though they're very, very exalted, they don't consider themselves as exalted. They consider themselves as insignificant, low-born. But one thing is for sure, they don't care whether Krishna is God or not. That doesn't matter to them. If Krishna is God, still we love Him. If Krishna is not God, we still love Him. So it doesn't matter. For them, they don't care what is His position, whether He is the source of Paramatma or He is the source of Lord Vishnu or all these different incarnations. And so sometimes by Yoga Maya, the potency of the Supreme Lord, which permeates the spiritual world, sometimes they can have a little glimpse and they are having some kind of hints that Krishna is God. But Mother Yasoda, sometimes she may be thinking like this because Garga Muni, he predicted and he named, he's the one who gave name to Krishna and Balaram. So he indicated who are these personalities, Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna, when he was here 5,000 years ago, it says in the Brahma Samhita, because Lord Brahma, he had darshan of the Supreme Lord. When he offered his prayers in the Brahma Samhita, he had darshan of Krishna and the Supreme Lord. And he described Lord Krishna there as medium size. Yes, medium size. Medium size means human-like. Even though in those days, they're supposed to be like over 12 feet tall. Maybe 15 feet tall. That's not medium, isn't it? No. That's more than an NBA basketball player these days. Double the size. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seven footer. Quite tall. But medium size means human-like size. Of course, that is in Dwapara Yuga. But then Kali Yuga, as Kali Yuga goes, then our sizes goes down and down. So this form of the Supreme Lord cannot be seen by anybody and everybody. And even if they see this transcendental form, the Supreme Lord, they will not be able to tell whether he is God or not. Because of this Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya. Naham prakasa sarvasya yoga maya samavrita. This is explained in the 7th chapter, text 25 of the Bhagavad-Gita. Naham prakasa sarvasya yoga maya samavrita mudhoyam nabijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my internal potency. And therefore, they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So this Yoga Maya potency, by internal potency, this is the all-pervading energy in the spiritual world. It's like a curtain. A curtain. When there is a curtain, you don't see what's behind. Similarly, this Vrindavan, where we are right now, is the spiritual world. Do we have an idea? Do we have an understanding? Maybe a little bit, because we feel different here. As soon as you step outside, let's say on the way you go to Delhi, 2 hours away, that's still very far. The boundary line going to Delhi from Vrindavan is Kosi. Once you move a little bit far, there's one more town after Kosi. But that is supposed to be the boundary line, like boundary line, the marginal line where if you cross that, then it's not anymore Braj. But anyone who comes to Vrindavan, they can feel that there is something special here. You cannot get anywhere. You can spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees to the most luxurious places in the world, and you can have some kind of sense enjoyment there, but it cannot compare to what you can have in the land of Vrindavan. You can sleep on the floor and just eat few chapatis and some sabjis and have a glass of milk, garam dud, and you'll be happy. There's certain feelings here that you cannot. But then at the same time, it says that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Krishna is still here. Krishna is still present in Vrindavan. But those who are pure in their hearts, those who doesn't have any more material desires, That means they're Paramahamsa. It's mentioned that by Queen Kunti in chapter 8, the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Tata Paramahamsanang Muninang Amala Manang bhakti-yoga vidhanartham katham pashyema hi striya. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? Paramahamsanam, of the advanced transcendentalist. Paramahamsa, they're like swan-like personalities. Swan-like personalities means those who are not bound by the modes of material nature. Their hearts are completely pure, no material desires, no envy, no hatred, no anger, no lust, no madness, no illusion. All of these anarthas are not there. Then they can still see, even today, Krishna. They can talk with Krishna, and Krishna can talk back to them. That is explained again in the chapter 6 of the Bhagavad-Gita. Who are these personalities? First verse. Shri Bhagavan uvacha anastrita karma palam karyang karma karotaya sasanyasi chayogi cha na niragnir na chakriya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life. And he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. It's like in the stages of spiritual life. That's what we call brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. Sannyas means there are the renounced in the renounced order. That means they don't have any attachment to family life. The greatest bandage in the material world is family life. They extend their sense enjoyment through their families. But the sannyas means no more attachment to the material world. And what is the attachment of the sannyasis or those who are in renounced order of life? Their attachment is only to serve and please the Supreme Lord. Nothing else. They don't have any other business. 24 hours. And Prabhupada says, all you boys and girls, he will address his students or disciples, my dear boys and girls. It's like a father who would address his children or the teacher. You are all sannyasis, even to the girls. You're also sannyasis. Why? Because you are engaged 24 hours in the service of the Lord, and you don't want anything in return. You are not expecting anything in return. The only thing that you are asking is that you may continue your service and please always the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is their only desire. So you are sannyasis. So now in sannyas, there are also different stages. There is Kutichak, Bahudak, Parivrajacharya, and then Paramahamsa. Again, the Paramahamsa. That word came up again. Kutichak means when one takes sannyas, then he still has some kind of like not really have relationship with his family, but he will stay in the village where he used to live. And he will be given his maintenance, his food by the villagers. And then bahudak. Bahudak means he will go beg door to door for his meal. And then paribrajakacharya. Paribrajakacharya means he will travel all over the world. And then paramahamsa means swan-like personalities. So even in sannyas, there are different levels of advancement or renunciation. So it depends. If one who is in Vrindavan and he has material desires, that means one is not in Vrindavan and he still not be able to see Krishna. Krishna without Vrindavan is not Krishna. Vrindavan without Krishna is not Vrindavan. Okay? Again, I repeat. Krishna without Vrindavan is not Krishna. And Vrindavan without Krishna is not Vrindavan. Now, if one who lives here, he has material desires, you are not in Vrindavan. Because you will not be able to really understand and see Vrindavan. That Yoga Maya, that internal potency of the Supreme Lord is covering up that personality has material desires within one's heart. So now what we're doing is bhakti-yoga, and the process cleanses our hearts. The more we practice bhakti-yoga with sincerity, without tinge of material desires, without tinge of material, and willingly to give up these material desires, then ultimately our hearts will be cleansed, and then we will see Krishna. In the text 20, or text 19, text 18 rather, text 18, Queen Kunti says, Namasye Purusam Twadhyam Isvaram Prakriti Param Alakshang Sarva Bhutanam Antar Bahir Avashtitam. Shrimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. He is present within as Paramatma, and He is present outside as the Supreme Lord. The yogis, their main purpose of performing yoga is to realize Krishna as Paramatma within their hearts. But that is not the complete realization of the Supreme Lord. Those devotees who are understanding the real nature of the Supreme Lord, he sees Krishna. They see Krishna everywhere. As like we mentioned before, it's like when a devotee sees a flower, he will glorify the Creator. He will glorify Krishna. Krishna is so great. He created this beautiful rose that has very beautiful smell. So that is Krishna consciousness. When he hears the birds singing early in the morning, or sometimes if we're fortunate enough, you'll hear a peacock early in the morning. You still do? You still hear? Sometimes. Before, Parikrama Marg near Bhaktivedanta Hospital, the opposite, there's two big trees there. They used to have full of peacocks. So early in the morning you will hear Kaka, Kaka. It's very nice. So when you hear that, how beautiful my Lord Krishna is. He created this very beautiful peacock. When you see a peacock, and when you see the peacock, it reminds you again of Krishna. So that is, He is within as Paramatma and He is without as Krishna. But many also are not realizing. Still, He is invisible to all. He's invisible. He's not present. That means they have the eyes, but they cannot see. Compared to the plumes of the peacock. The plumes of the peacock also is like eyes, shape of the eyes, but cannot see. So, if one is here in Vrindavan and somehow still covered up by material desires, then one will not be able to really see Krishna. Very impossible. Impossible to see. Seeking Him, which is very, very difficult. Even the demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they're trying to see Him. They cannot. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they're even trying to at least get the dust from Vrindavan, Brajaraj. Even Lord Brahma, they're all the demigods. They all want to touch the Brajaraj, the dust of Vrindavan, and for them it is very difficult. They have to take birth as human form, maybe in ISKCON. Then they can come to Vrindavan, and then they can play Raman Reti, touch the Brajaraj. So, this form of the Supreme Lord is very difficult to understand. For those who are under this deluding internal potency, Maya Javana Kichanan. Maya Javani Kachanam means this deluding energy of the Supreme Lord, which is covered up by this curtain. One becomes under the modes, especially of this ignorant. One becomes in ignorance. It's very difficult. Therefore, they become. It's very difficult to approach Krishna. Krishna becomes invisible. That even Lord Krishna, when He was here 5,000 years ago, not everyone can see Krishna. They think He's just an ordinary person. And just like a child, Prabhupada gave an example, just like a child. A child, if he's watching, let's say, a play, and because he does not know the different characters in the play, the actors, even though his father was already present and he was playing the role of the lead actor, the child may see that that is not his father. Because he was playing a different role, and therefore the child may not be able to identify with that actor who is actually his own father. But his mother will tell. His mother will tell, actually, that is your father. You don't know? Really? Well, I don't know. He's very good in disguise. I'm not able to tell whether he's really my father or not. So, that mother is the Vedas and Guru. That's why he says here that the process cannot be understood through speculation on Krishna. It is only possible if one hears through Vedic scriptures. It says here, that is the actual Vedic process. And those who are, they believe that in the ultimate issue, the absolute truth is not a person, but the transcendental process is described in the Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 4, to hear about Krishna from authorities. That is the actual Vedic process. And those who are actually in the Vedic line hear about Krishna from authority, and by repeated hearing about Him, Krishna becomes dear. So now here enters the Guru and the Vedas in order for us to understand. Even though we are covered up by this Yoga Maya to understand and see Krishna, but by having the spiritual master and the Vedic literatures revealed to us through knowledge about Krishna and his position, then we'll be able to realize. The more we repeatedly hear again this transcendental subject matter and hearing directly from the Lord's representative or the Supreme Lord through the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-Gita, because this is the book Bhagavat. There is no difference between the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat, the spiritual master. Then our hearts becomes cleansed of all the material desires. We're able to understand that, yes, I have to give up my material desires, and we become more and more cleansed. And then the more we become, this is what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, the more we become eager to hear the transcendental topics, the subject matter in relation with the Supreme Lord, His name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes, and the more we become purified, the more we become advanced in Krishna consciousness. So that's how we can grade ourselves. And I noticed that many of you are like regular attendees of the Bhagavad-Gita. Some they say, "Oh, Bhagavad-Gita, this is ABC." I don't. No need to come for Bhagavad-Gita. I like real nectar, real pastimes. But one cannot relish these pastimes not until one realizes Krishna Tattva. Bhagavad-Gita means Krishna Tattva. So one cannot realize and relish Krishna Lila if we don't understand Krishna Tattva from the Bhagavad-Gita, from Srila Prabhupada's purports. So this is the beauty of this thing. It's not hackneyed. It's not, is that the right? It's not tiring. It's not, oh, I've heard this before. This is the second day we heard this verse. We heard it yesterday. And today, this is like boring now. Maharaj especially is talking about the same verse. It must be boring. Even if you hear this again tomorrow, or even in 1 week, you will never get bored to this. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gave class in the first canto, first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, I think for 3 months. For one verse. We can spend a whole one word, or every letter has meaning. Every word has a meaning. So every sloka, especially those who are self-realized souls, they can really relish these transcendental topics. And we cannot see Krishna right now through our eyes. We see the Shyama Sundar form, of course. That is Krishna. That's none different than Krishna. When we have darshan of the Supreme Lord, Sisi Gornitai, Krishna Balaram, Radhe Shyam, Lalita Vaisakha, they are the Supreme Lord. They're none different. But those who are really at the Paramamsa level, they can talk with Krishna. And Krishna will talk back to them. Sometimes you see, devotees, they talk to Krishna, but maybe Krishna is talking back to them. Maybe to you also. Huh? Krishna talk back to you? Maybe. But some are in imagination only, through imagination. That it's like, like a baby who's talking to a doll, baby doll. You've seen kids like that, they have babies, they talk, or imaginary. They have imaginary friends. They talk to imaginary friends. So maybe it's like that. But in reality, sometimes Krishna will appear to them and they will not realize that actually that was Krishna. They will only realize after some time. Oh, that was Krishna. How full am I? like Madhavendra Puri or Raghunath Das Goswami, Sanatan Goswamis. Krishna will appear and they will realize that somebody will tell them that actually that was Krishna through their descriptions. To Rupa Goswami, to Sanatan Goswami, Radharani will bring sweet rice or ingredients to make sweet rice, and they will just figure out, oh, that was Krishna, that was Radharani. So even there, the topmost, their eternal associates of the Supreme Lord in the realm of this Bhoma, Vrindavan, Krishna will appear, but then the devotee, when Krishna appears in front of them and Krishna talk to them, they still, sometimes, they don't realize that is Krishna. They will only realize after some time. And we've heard that even sometimes, they're already in front of Krishna, they still think Krishna is not there. This is super elevated. For us, we should more than happy to see Krishna every day in the form of Archa Vigraha. Even though we may not have that full realization, but Krishna is so attractive that he captures everyone's hearts. Radharani is so beautiful that she captures everyone's hearts. Krishna Balaram, they are so beautiful. Gaurnita, they are so beautiful. Everyone who had darshans of them, they still keep coming back again and again, and you cannot compare their beauty to any deities in Vrindavan. You have seen any deities like them in Vrindavan? So alive. They're alive. They're alive. So very fortunate. But we don't know. Maybe some demigods also coming every day to have their darshan. We cannot know. We cannot tell. So that's why we have to be extra careful in dealings with these different personalities who come and have darshan of our deities. This is the beauty of it takes many lifetimes. Krita punya punja. It takes many lifetimes of pious activities, and these pious activities means performing bhakti-yoga. They can play with Krishna like the cowherd boys. They can dance with Krishna like the cowherd girls. They can take care of Krishna like the elderly gopis. They can associate with Krishna after many lifetimes. It's not so easy. Not so easy. As we mentioned earlier, Krishna is within our reach. Krishna is like within arm's length. It's right there. Krishna is right there. Oh, Krishna is right here. But we don't have so much that realization because of our conditioning, our material desires is still lingering. We're still making so many plans, so much preparations for our sense enjoyment. Paramahamsa means they don't think of anything for themselves. They only think of Krishna, and therefore they have Krishna. When will that day come? I'm so far away. So far. Oof. Not so easy. But don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Keep chanting. Keep taking prasad. Keep serving the devotees. Increase our faith. Reading Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam. We should not be hopeless. but we should be hoping against hope. The time we quit, how was that? Winners don't quit. Quitters don't become winners. Winners don't quit. But quitters, they don't win. They don't become winners. So we're on the right path. But still hoping that, someday, in the near future, we'll reach that. We reach that section whereby we'll be really entering and this Yoga Maya. Well, Yoga Maya will always be there. Yoga Maya will always be there. But at least we'll have a glimpse of Krishna. And we'll become free from all of these inebrieties of the material world. Okay, we stop here. Any questions? Yes, sir. Where is the microphone?
This is really a comment.
Okay. Yes, sir.
For a lot of devotees, they go to different temples and they see...
Go like this. Yes.
And they see different deities.
Yes.
And they say, deities in my temple are much nicer than this.
That's right.
But the point has got to come that you see with spiritual eyes that all of them are Krishna. And that the only reason they are different is that the maker or the owner or the person who ordered the deities wanted it in a particular form.
Yeah.
But they're all Krishna.
Yes.
So therefore, you say you go to the temple every day and you see Krishna, Ramachandra, Sundar, Krishna, Balaram. You should see them all as the same, not as different.
No.
But it takes a long time to get there.
Yeah.
And we're still on the path.
Yeah. Thank you. You see, wherever you are, you can be in Tokyo, you can be in Shanghai, you can be in Sao Paulo, you can be in London, you can be in Germany, you can be in Paris, New York. Wherever you are, Krishna is there. And they reside in their Archa Vigraha form. And for them, they are your Istadev. They are your most worshipable Lord. No doubt about that. You cannot replace them in such a way. You cannot that you give your life to them. But Krishna Balaram, Radhesham, and Gauranitai, they are the deities of ISKCON. For me, and for everybody who comes to Vrindavan. Still, and for others, Mayapur, the Panchatattva, or Radha Madhava. But you cannot say that one is better than the other. That is like a mistake. But for you, wherever I am, whoever the deities are there, the place where I'm residing and I'm serving, they are the best. For me.
One special feature of Krishna is in the shalagram form.
Mm-hmm.
And the shalagram form is not a human-like form, it's like a Brahman.
Yes.
And for meditation on the shalagram form, that helps a person get closer to the spiritual feeling of Krishna.
Yeah. It takes a lot of maturity to worship Salagram Shila. Because in their form as a stone, but they're not ordinary stones. But they can see Krishna in that form. The only thing here is actually, it doesn't matter which form the Supreme Lord we are worshiping, we should be able to develop our love towards that form, special form of the Lord. And that is the question. Am I really developing my love towards the Supreme Lord? Only you and Krishna will know. It's not so easy.
One of the Janardana I collected in Vrindavan River, I gave to Anugraha.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing he said, in the shape of a hand,
Mm-hmm.
he saw a reddish tinge on the hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "This is Krishna's hand."
Mm-hmm.
You can see the hand. It's
Yeah.
being Krishna.
You have,
It's in
yeah,
there.
yeah. You have more of those?
No, I gave away all mine,
Okay. Yes,
except one.
except one.
Hare Krishna. Just like you said, mostly we are regular for Bhagavad-Gita class, same places you can see,
Yes.
they come from Bhagavad-Gita class. According to me, when I listen to Bhagavad-Gita, we see that Krishna is speaking. So when Krishna is speaking, so we have that attraction, that's why we come every day to listen to
Yeah,
that is spoken directly Krishna.
that's true.
Yeah, when we listen to Bhagavatam, we listen that Sukadeva Goswami is a pure devotee of the Lord and he is giving
Yeah.
us Bhagavatam.
Mm-mm.
So with that mind, when we come and we listen to Bhagavad Gita, we understand that Krishna is speaking, we are associating with him.
Very good.
So this association, very few of them can understand, not everyone can understand.
Mm-mm.
Everyone, they are here, they are serving in different departments, different places, maybe they are engaged in some other activities. That is also Christianity. But the taste of the hearing of
Yeah.
Krishna, the speaking the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada said, I have not written the Bhagavatam. Krishna has asked me to write it.
Right.
This is how we should understand that Krishna is giving us this knowledge and Krishna's voice, we are hearing this voice of Krishna when Bhagavad Gita is spoken.
Right.
So this is the appreciation we have in our mind, that's why we come every day. In the morning also we come for Bhagavatam because we understand that Sukadeva Goswami is speaking, we are listening from a pure devotee.
Yeah.
So this opportunity we have got in this birth. In any other birth we did not have this opportunity to listen directly from Krishna or his pure devotees.
Yeah.
So this put our mind every day when the time just like a bell rings, we come. Just like in the morning we get for attending the Mangalarti, we have to go for Mangalarti, we have to take darshan. These things are regularly inspiring us that we should be in this mood that we should hear about Krishna, listen to him directly, be spoken by Krishna, and this is inspiring us. That's why
Good.
we take more and more association that how we can
Thank you.
develop this consciousness.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Anything else? Careful. You're going in.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, like you said, we get to see Sri Krishna, like with our devotion and love for him. We get to see Krishna like that you said. I have 2-3 experiences like you mentioned. And one more thing, I just wanted to ask you, like when we meditate on Krishna's murti here in the temple, I do it on regular basis when I come for the darshan. I just meditate on his face on the murti for 2 minutes and I see a disc, a chakra.
Chakra.
When I close my eyes after 2 minutes. So
Okay.
what does it mean?
Don't worry.
Sorry.
Maybe the chakra is cleansing your heart. Cleansa is for protection.
Okay.
So that's good. But chakra is another weapons of Krishna, one of the weapons of Krishna.
Yeah.
He says chakra is not different than Nishingadev. So it's good, you're getting purified. But don't worry, that will go away also once you become purified. Prabhupada once told that yes, when I meditate on Krishna, I meditate on the light. I see the light. And Prabhupada says, don't worry, that light will go. Don't worry. That's good though. You're seeing chakra, that means that is Krishna. That's good. Anything else? Yes, Prabhu? Oh, Mike. Now it's going to be difficult to go around.
Bhagavatam 3:6. It is creation of
Speak here. You're speaking microphone there.
creation of universal form is described.
Yeah.
What is that actually?
Huh? The Bhagavatam? Yes. The universal form in the Bhagavatam explains about the feature of the Supreme Lord, where for the beginners they should meditate upon in the initial stage. It's easier for them to see the Supreme Lord in His universal form. But that universal form is temporary. It's not permanent. And that is a different kind of universal form that Arjuna saw. We mentioned that last class. There are different kinds of universal forms. And different personalities saw these universal forms. We mentioned like five of them. Duryodhana also saw partial. Arjuna, Advaita, Acharya, Lord Nityananda, and Yasoda Mai, and his friend also, Utanka. Is it Utanka? Something like that. So this, according to the levels of one's devotion or even no devotion, one can be shown this universal form. But these are different. It's like, as we mentioned, tailor-made. Like for Duryodhana, it's not the same. Just to give the glimpse of mystic power of Lord Krishna to Duryodhana, so that Duryodhana will think and he comes to his senses that no, there should be no battle. So this in the Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned there also. There's these different forms that comprise the universal form, but that universal form is still temporary. It is meant for the beginners so that they can understand the greatness and the majestic opulence of the Supreme Lord. Not the same universal form here in the Bhagavad-Gita. Maybe partial. Arjuna saw the whole thing. He saw the whole creation, material world and spiritual world. Both worlds. Okay? So we stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.